Hi, this is trepacer. I did something a little different. The last couple of weeks I've been doing a kind of a live review and then kind of editing the tapes together. Actually, so I decided to do something different this time. I took notes actually for Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 8 of season 2. Okay, it starts with a flashback from Dr. Whitehall. He's testing the omnibus. He's testing it with and it's supposed to be in Austria in 1945, and he's as a Chinese gentleman, he has him touch the omnibus, and of course he turns to ash and disintegrates. Then they bring in a woman, and they have her. They kind of force her to, she sees the severed hand, and they kind of force her to, they put her on the omnibus, but it actually doesn't kill her. It actually starts, reacting to her, and they said, okay. So we have to experiment to find out what makes her so special. So they say lock her up, and then another guy comes in and said, listen, the Red Skull has been defeated, and the Highland Commandos are coming. So the Red Skull, they put her in a cage, and then it flashed back to present day. You have the Diviner there with Sky's father's there, and he says only a special few can handle it, and he said it's not a weapon, it's a key to a bigger thing. And he said he can help you unlock that. Tells Dr. Whitehall he can help you unlock that, provided you get him Coulson, get him what he wants, which is Coulson dead, of course. Okay. And then, of course, they flash back to the S.H.I.E.L.D. ship where they actually leave May, Starkey British guy, and Morse at the base. And Agent Morse is interrogating the British guy that works for Hydra. His name is Barsh. Okay, she's interrogating him. And at the same time, Coulson, him, Trip, Sky, and Fitz go on a mission to actually go to Hawaii to basically steal a satellite. Okay, to help them find this map to this hidden place that they talked about in the last episode. Okay. And so they also this the base that they were at, the base that they're at right now. It was former SSR, they call it, instead of SSR base. And they said we're going to look into the records and see if we can find out more information about Dr. Whitehall. Okay, and then you see Agent Ward's brother, the senator. He's driving up to a cabin and he's talking to his mistress on the phone, saying wear that special see-through thing that I like. And but of course the car stops and then the window breaks, and then it's actually Ward. He grabs his brother and throws him down the hill and said, welcome home, big brother. Okay? Now, and then it goes to commercial. Then we're back in Hawaii, and Coulson is sending Sky and Trip on a mission to find certain items. And he sends them all. He said, we need these items and get back here in a certain amount of time. And he has Fitz. He said, we're going to get you back into the field. We have this device that we need you to get up in within 6 minutes. And we need to, so he said, get here. Here's a dummy thing. You can practice on this, and we need to do it under 6 minutes. Okay? Okay, now Barsh and is still being interrogated by Morse, who's, telling they're snarking back and forth about how he's loyal to Dr. Whitehall and stuff. He's a great man and all this, and Hydra will prevail and all that stuff. And Morse is trying to get in his head. Okay, and now Simmons actually finds records. They show a flashback of Agent Carter interrogating Dr. Whitehall, which is actually, I guess this is the real first episode where they actually tell you Dr. Whitehall is Reinhardt, Dr. Reinhardt. You actually find out that through the records that he's actually Dr. Reinhardt and Dr. Reinhardt and Whitehall, which we already knew was played by the same actor. And basically, Dr. Whitehall tries to make a deal with Agent Carter, but she says, no, we're not going to make any deals with you. You're going to stay buried. Basically, you're going to stay buried in there. So she leaves. Now, Skyfather says, you see, they show Sky, he's talking to Dr. Whitehall. He says, Sky's father, he said, listen, the Divider wasn't meant to conquer the world. It was meant to end mankind. Okay? And he says he can help them find the temple that they're looking for. Okay, and he said he doesn't want power or anything. He just wants to be reunited with his family in the afterlife. Okay. Well, you think he wants to be reunited with Sky, but he says he tells Whitehall he just wants to be reunited with his family in the afterlife. Okay, which of course we don't buy that. And actually, he said Ward and his brothers in the woods, and he has his brother, chained, handcuffed, and he's dragging him through the woods. He says, "We're going to the well." Okay, his brother Senator Ward tries to say, "Listen, he's trying to play mind games." Ward said, "No, you're you're just trying to make this up, and you don't remember things the way they really happened. That that's what you do. You try to twist things and make it everybody else's fault, but it's your fault." And Ward's not having it, and he says, "I'm bringing you back to the well that where we were as kids." And he said, "It's gone." Senator West is gone. He said it was buried. And he says, "I know." And he gives him a shovel, tells him to start digging. Okay. Now, we flashback to Fitz is practicing on the device, to build a device, and of course he gets frustrated because he's not building it as fast as he normally would if he wasn't brain damaged. And Sky Trip comes in. They have the items that Coulson sent them to go, and Coulson says the next place we're going to go is Australia to get this, to get the satellite. So we're off to satellite. Okay, and they're looking at the research back at the SSR base, and that's when they figure out that that Dr. Whitehall and Reinhardt is the same person through the records, because they see that they flashback again where Agent Carter basically tells Whitehall there's no deals for you. Okay, you're going to be locked up, and they actually show him being locked up over time, where he ages really bad, and then he gets a pardon. Actually, he's been in jail for 44 years, and he gets a pardon from one of these lower Hydra agents. He gets a pardon, and they actually take him to a place, and they say, "Listen, we have something." They take him back to the village, and they say, "Listen, we have." They bring all these people that look young, and he goes through the people, and then he sees the same woman that he saw back in 1945, and she hasn't aged a bit. And he said, "Remarkable. We're going to have to find out. Experimentation. We're going to find out. Why you survived all this time and why you was able to touch the diviner without dying." And they show him actually, experimenting on. He basically dissects her, and then basically you see him. They don't really, and because I think one of the guys asked him, "What did you take from me?" He said, "A little bit of everything." And then you see, he said, "Now get rid of that." Basically, told him to get rid of the body. Okay, and you see him younger. Okay, and you go back to Australia, where Sky is waiting on the ship with her geek friends. So as soon as they put the satellite online, they can, use it to map the place they want to find, the temple. And meanwhile, Trip, Coulson, and Fitz, they're making their way through the base, and then they actually there's a shootout that happens. Hydra's there already, and they start shooting, and then Trip actually gets hit, and kind of fatally, and then all of a sudden, Sky's father's there, and he says, "Listen, I'm a doctor, I can help." Okay, and he basically talks to Coulson, and he's patching up Trip, and he's basically saying, "Listen, hold on, I think yeah, okay, yeah, Sky's father with a Trip," and he says, and he basically tells father, Coulson, "Listen, I can basically let him die, but give me the gun." And he gives him the gun. And he said, "Listen, I'm going to tell you, how to save his life, so I can get away." And he basically tells him, "Listen, he gives him the scalpel and says, 'Here, do this, and he'll live." And then he buggers off. And then you see, like I said, they flash back to Dr. Whitehall was talking to somebody, saying basically how how science is advanced and stuff, and how things, going to change. And see, the person he's talking to is actually Ward. And then Ward says, "Yes, I know what you're talking about," and he said, "I can help you." And then you see a news report. I bet you can. It turns on a news report, and you see that the news reporter says Senator Ward has basically killed his parents, and so it looks like a murder-suicide. So of course now you know that Ward, of course, killed his parents and his brother. Now I do wonder though that his other brother, is still alive though now, because they didn't say exactly. I don't think they mentioned that he killed the other brother. I don't think he did. I don't think they did. So the other brother may be out there somewhere. Maybe you'll see him later on in the season. That younger brother, because I don't think Ward killed him. or maybe he did when they did the flashback. I'm not sure about that part, so don't quote me directly on that. Anyway, a satellite comes online from Coulson and them stealing their technology, and they said that we can find the city. Okay, and now you see Dr. Sky's father comes in and he actually meets Ward. And Ward tells him this: I'm very good with I'm real familiar with the team. I spent time with them, you know. And he says, and then they show up. He said, yes, I just want to get. And Sky's father said, basically, I want to pay back the man, who did. Basically tells him, listen, I want to, pay back the person who did that, who did stuff to my family. And then you see the flashback, and you see him as a younger man finding the woman that Whitehall experimented on and took her organs and stuff to make himself younger. And that is Sky's mother, which I always suspected. When they first showed it, that was Sky's mother, and that's when he went completely bonkers. And he said he's going to do exactly to the person who's Dr. Whitehall what they did to her. So you see that he's going to turn on him eventually. So that's going to happen. Okay, and that's how it goes off. And this was a pretty good episode. I liked the flashbacks, and now you find out that Sky's mother was actually dissected by Dr. Whitehall, and Sky's father's he knows that. He knows that. And then plus Ward kills his brother and his parents. So this is a pretty intense episode. Trip almost died, of course. And then I forgot, snarky British guy and Agent Morse, because they were arguing all episode and stuff about her methods and stuff. Because the guy, the British guy from Hydra, basically almost killed himself with a suicide capsule he had in his mouth. But I think they managed to save his life. He didn't quite die. But of course, Morse and snarky British guy are arguing back and forth, and then of course that leads to, on television that leads to sex, and they have sex. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna give this episode this was a good episode. A lot of good things, a lot of moving parts, a lot of good things happen in this, a lot of things advance. So I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. This was a pretty good episode, pretty intense. And you gotta wait 2 weeks for the next episode. But anyway, let me know what you think of episode 8. Have you seen it? Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is trepacer saying so long and take care.